Alright, so we're going to go through this week in Mormon news, but first we need an asshat quote.
Asshat quote. Asshat quote.
Asshat quote of the day.
Oh, another Spencer W. Kimball quote.
Ooh.
That involves sex and masturbation.
He does love the masturbation.
While we should not regard this weakness as the heinous sin which some other practices are, it is of itself bad enough to require sincere repentance.
Ooh.
What is more, it too often leads to grievous sin, even to that sin against nature, homosexuality.
Oh, there it is.
For done in private, it evolves often into, I don't even want to say this, mutual masturbation practiced with another person of the same sex.
Oh, no.
And thence into total homosexuality.
So basically he's saying first you do hand stuff, then you do butt stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first you're doing hand stuff by yourself, and that's not enough.
So if you masturbate,
So you start circle jerking with your friends.
And then you're just gonna be a homosexual.
And you're gonna be letting someone put things in your butt. Or putting things in other people's butts, whichever.
Or other places.
Or other places.
So is he saying that straight people don't masturbate?
I think he's saying that masturbating leads you to be gay. So if you're straight and you start masturbating...
Oh, you're going down the path.
Yes, you're heading down
the grievous path.
I disagree with so much.
I don't think he understands human sexuality.
No, not at all. Okay, that was a great asshat quote of the day.
From the previous week, these are the LDS related headlines I found.
Okay.
On the internet.
Am I commenting on these headlines?
You may.
Okay.
Some of them are more worthy of comment than others.
Okay.
So I think we probably all know about the LDS Church opposing the proposed Utah rule that would ban conversion therapy.
For minors.
For minors.
So if you're an adult and you want conversion therapy, go ahead. If that's what you want to do, do it.
Yeah.
I think it is a cruel, inhumane practice that should not be done on anyone. Especially a child who their parents are choosing it for them.
Right. You hear stories of these people who talk about going through conversion therapy, and they have this huge mental ordeal of coming out to their parents, who are people you should trust, and then instead of loving them as they are, their parents are like, let's go talk to the bishop. Or let's get you some therapy.
Yes, let's put you at a camp for kids who have problems, and these people at this camp are going to treat you horrendously and make you do horrible things, all in an attempt to make you straight. Yeah. It doesn't work.
That too, because all it's going to do is cause mental damage, and I think I read that 60% of kids who go through conversion therapy end up trying to commit suicide.
I think I saw that number out there as well.
It's a really big percentage because it's damaging.
Yes.
And listening to people talk about having gone through it, you want to like throw up in your mouth and cry and hug them because it's horrible.
I also want to kick their parents in the genitals. Why would you do that to your child? Love your children, people.
Right?
Love them.
If your kid is gay, they're gonna be fine. Maybe if you support them and encourage them to be themselves.
I know lots of successful gay people.
Even if they're, you know, the other LGBTQ, any of it. Love your kid.
Period. Yeah. End of story. Love your children.
I don't have kids and I'm telling you how to raise yours. Love them. Don't be a dick. So, how about a lighter?
Yeah, let's have a lighter Mormon headline.
So, the Relief Society
oh god
got its website completely redesigned.
Do you think they let a woman do it?
I don't think so, but I think a woman announced it.
Oh wow, we're making steps here. Women are allowed to announce things.
I did read that a woman announced this. Supposedly the website's totally redesigned so it's easier to find all of your...
Is it because women are dumb?
Probably. They probably use really big fonts. I don't know. I haven't looked at it because I'm afraid of it.
I don't like to go to the church websites because I don't want the ads that I end up with when I go to the church
It's because every time I read the words Relief Society, I giggle and I think about a certain meme.
Yes, we really need to do a segment on our favorite memes. That's for another day, though.
So then I'll go with the other one I read that's bad but not horrible before we get to the really awesome one. Mormon financial scammer sentenced to 14 years in prison. And basically he was using his Mormon morals and good attitude and wholesome attitude to help people to scam people out of over $100 million.
Where'd all the money go?
So it was a Ponzi scheme. So you give him money and he was going to do whatever good wholesome thing he was going to do, and then you were going to get a payout. I think it was real estate based, like they usually are. But apparently he invested a bunch of money into an erotic horror movie. And then he said that I think the money was going to go, like whatever money was made from that was going to go to making like a good wholesome movie. But in the end, prison, bad guy. Which, I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Somebody deserving of being the asshat of the week.
Asshat of the week, huh?
Kaysville LDS Bishop arrested for allegedly possessing child porn.
Allegedly, of course, because the American justice system, you're innocent until proven guilty.
He was actually charged with 8 counts of enticing a minor by internet or text, which is more than just looking at it.
Yeah.
Which, wherever state this is, that it's labeled as a second-degree felony.
It's a felony.
It's bad.
Felonies are bad.
Apparently he got caught because when you upload that stuff, like, I'm not going to try to get you out of it, but when you upload that stuff, they do see it happening. It's not secret, unless you're really smart. So, he was flagged in the system for uploading child sexually abusive material.
No.
Then recently, 3 more complaints involving him transmitting sexually abusive files of children were found.
Right.
And I guess he admitted to owning over 100 images of said content. And the real cool part is he refused to take a polygraph test and answer questions about whether or not he's ever actually physically abused anybody. He's a bishop. Well, was.
Yeah, so as a bishop, you are the leader of your congregation. You conduct worthiness interviews prior to baptism, which is for an 8-year-old. I remember my baptismal interview. It was age appropriate. There was nothing, do you believe in Jesus? It was pretty, I don't recall. I was 8 years old. It was a long time ago. I don't recall being asked if I obeyed the law of chastity or who I was. I really don't think the church expects 8-year-olds to know what that means.
I'd be more concerned about 8-year-olds knowing what it means and having violated it.
Right. If you're 8 years old and have violated the law of chastity, per se, the way the church sees the law of chastity, you've been abused. You have plain and simple been abused. You're not old enough to wear. I guess there are children who have explored their bodies at an earlier age than others. But most kids at 8 years old, it's for going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's not for fun yet. It's just for, doing your biz. So I think the 8-year-old baptismal interview, in my experience, I can't speak for everyone who's ever had one, was, fine. My mom or dad or both sat out in the, hall and waited for me. But I think it sets a bad example for the future to send your child alone into a room with a grown man. Or woman. You shouldn't put your children in uncomfortable situations and tell them this is okay.
Right.
Because someday, potentially, there's someone whose intentions are not good and are not pure, and your child is going to think, oh, this is okay. Like, this is weird, but it's okay. It's not okay.
No.
So then bishops also conduct worthiness interviews for teenagers, so 12 to 18,
Okay.
before giving them a limited use recommend to go to the temple to do, this is going to trigger a whole other episode, baptisms for the dead, which I think we've touched on briefly before. We are not baptizing corpses. Well, when I say we, I mean the Mormons. Not dunking corpses. We're dunking people on behalf of people who have passed away in the past. Sometimes your ancestors, sometimes someone else's ancestors. But I would not want my teenage son or daughter alone in a room with a man who's been charged with possessing child porn. You can't trust anyone anymore.
Nope.
You can't.
It's naive to.
Right. It's naive to trust people. You cannot trust people. In the line of work that Diane and I are in, we see people with similar charges to this man. It's never just one picture. It's never just, even if all he was doing was downloading images, someone's abusing these children.
Yeah.
These are actual children that have been abused so this creepy bishop can get his rocks off. Yeah. Is that the kind of person you want to leave alone in a room with your child? And I think because of the work that we do, we're aware that there's a lot of people that are bad people. And you wouldn't know it until you see a headline like this.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's too late.